December 13th, 2016 regular meeting of the Mentor Exempted Village Board of Education is called to order. This meeting is being held in accordance with Section 3313.15 of the Ohio Revised Code. Mr. Wilson, will you please call the roll?
Mrs. Briner?
Here.
Ms. Jisling?
Present.
Mr. Shaw?
Here.
Mr. Tuttle?
Here.
Ms. Miller?
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would like to welcome everyone to the December 13th, 2016 regular meeting of the Mentor Exempted Village Board of Education. Prior to this evening, each board member has received for their review and consideration the agenda and materials associated with each agenda item for the board's approval via the district's paperless Board of Education agenda system, called Board Docs. The public can access the agenda through the school district's website. The agenda is available through the district's website for public viewing the Sunday prior to the board meeting. Board members have the opportunity to call the superintendent and the chief financial officer for information concerning agenda items and to request, if needed, additional information. There are two places on the agenda when the board entertains comments from the community. The first hearing of the public is dedicated to those who wish to address the board on agenda items only. The second hearing of the public is dedicated to those who wish to address the board on any subject, whether it is an item on the agenda or another issue. When addressing the board, please state your name. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please address questions to the president. This meeting is being televised on a delayed basis and will be shown on the Time Warner Cable Channel 96.96 in Mentor, Channel 96.22 in Mentor on the Lake. This meeting is also being videotaped and will be shown on our YouTube channel, Cardinal TV, Mentor, Ohio. Please place your mobile telephones on silent mode during the meeting. Do I have a motion for the approval of the minutes for November 8th, 2016, the regular meeting, and the special meeting we had on December 1st, 2016?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Wilson, will you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Briner?
Yes.
Ms. Jisling?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes. At this time, does anyone wish to address the board on any of the agenda items? Okay, thank you. Mr. Miller, the superintendent's report and recommendations.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. I have the following recommendations listed under the consent agenda and recommend approval of items 5A1 through 5A3, as well as the addendum 5A2, which contains additional ShareVision grants awarded to our teachers.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Wilson?
Ms. Jisling?
Yes.
Mrs. Briner?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Thank you. Tonight we get to recognize at our board meeting some very special students and staff members this evening, and tonight a lot of these groups and a lot of these individuals have really reached the top of their profession or as a student. So I'm very excited about the groups and of students that we get to recognize tonight. We're going to start with several recognitions, but we're going to start with Mr. Fetchick and Coach Dennison and Mr. Tuttle to recognize Mentor High School student Matthew Bull as a state qualifier in cross country.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the Board of Education, Mr. Miller, and Mr. Wilson. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share some great news about Mentor High School. Tonight I'd like to introduce our cross-country coach, Bill Dennison, and our Ohio High School Athletic Association state qualifier, Matt Bull. I'm going to introduce Coach Dennison and allow him to tell us about Matt's successful season. I'll give you a little bio here, Coach.
Sure.
Bill Dennison has been the boys and girls cross-country coach at Mentor High School since 2002. Under his direction, the Cardinals have won 12 league titles, 11 district titles, 2 regional titles, and earned a third-place finish at the 2008 state meet. In his 14 years as head cross-country coach, he's guided 28 regional qualifying teams, with 11 of those teams qualifying to the state meet. He's coached 120 all-league runners, 14 all-regional runners, 4 all-Ohio runners, and most importantly, 49 academic all-Ohio runners. Dennison, who is also the boys track coach, has been a 5-time News Herald Coach of the Year, and in 2006 was named the Ohio Cross Country Coach of the Year. Bill is married to wife Therese, and all 4 of their children attend Mentor schools. Coach?
Thanks for the kind words, Mr. Fedchek. Madam President, thank you. School Board, thank you. It's always nice to be able to recognize our athletes. I've been able to coach Matt for now 2 seasons. He came to us last track season, and he set the bar pretty high coming in as a phenomenal athlete. Usually you have the process of growing an athlete, but he came in as a very gifted athlete to begin with, making it to the state meet in track in 2 events and setting an area and school record in the 4x8. That success continued throughout the cross-country season, winning invitationals. He was the district champion. He was regional runner-up. He finished 10th place in the state of Ohio. He set the school record twice, running 15:22 for a 5K. More importantly, he was academic All-Ohio, and he was also team captain. So being academic All-Ohio means he's just as good as a student as he is an athlete. Matthew will be attending Eastern Michigan next year, where he'll take his talents on to cross-country and track there. But I'd like to thank Matt for coming out, and had a great season.
It's always hard to be the first one.
So is that the first time close to your personal best? Yeah, 1 mile. 3 mile, 19 mile, 1 mile. Congratulations. Well done. Congratulations. Another great season. Thanks, Coach.
So happy for you. Oh, thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Congratulations again, Matt. Joy, are you ready to present? Okay, great. At this point, I'd like to invite Mentor High School student Joy Mason. Is Lexi joining you? No, Okay. Joy is going to handle the presentation for Model UN. As she gets up, I will share with the Board of Education just a bit of good news. Lexi Mealy, who was going to co-present, is probably celebrating right now. She was accepted into Harvard tonight. Just found out it. That's a good excuse to knock off a board meeting, I think. Yeah.
I told her stay home, celebrate.
Good.
I can handle this.
Yeah, yes, you can, Joy. We're glad that you're here, and we know that you can handle it. So we'll turn it over to you. So tell us about Model UN and what you've been up to.
Thank you. My name is Joy Mason. I'm a junior at Mentor High. I'm also the secretary of Model UN at Mentor High. And so I'm going to be telling everyone about our first ever Model UN conference that we held at Mentor High this year. And it was themed around the Syrian crisis. So just some basic information. It was held on October 14th and 15th in mainly the Paradigm building, and we also used the Hub and Digital Lab C. It was a really great space for us. It fit our needs perfectly. We charged $15 per delegate, and we were lucky enough to have Kevin Malachek as our keynote speaker. So our conference structure, as far as we know, we were the first school to ever do this. Our theme was real time, real world, and again, around the Syrian crisis. So everything we were communicating using different applications, and we also used Periscope on the mini iPads that we were so lucky to be able to use. And so we really had that sense of, it was happening real time, and, Mr. Couch threw up some loops sometimes, which is fun. So we had 4 country cabinets. We had the USA, the Russian Federation, Syria, and Turkey. And we also had the UN Security Council. And it was chaired by MHS Mun students and alumni. So some of the crises that we had, just for example, we had some barrel bombings in Aleppo. We had a refugee crisis. We had some airmen shot down, chemical weapons, and hospital bombing. So it was pretty intense at times. And then just a real quick introduction, all of our videos, we had many videos made up so we could kind of push them out as if we were watching CNN News, so it really gave us that real-time sense. Okay, so just put some numbers to this. We had a little over 40 delegates, and that excluded Mentor High students. Our club actually helped run the conference and make sure everything went smoothly, and our nerve centers were manned, and the nerve centers helped us to communicate with the other countries in real time as well. And we'd like to thank Gilmore Academy, Chardon High School, Solon High School, and St. Ed's for coming out and, trying this new journey with us. And some benefits overall is obviously the money generated from this conference helps us go to our premier conferences. We actually took on 3 international conferences this year. We are traveling, actually just got back from Chicago, and then we're traveling to Washington, D.C. We also have an international conference being held in Cleveland and 2 local conferences. And this conference, because it wasn't really structured as the traditional Molly UN conference, it was very kind of jumpy and choppy, but it was really a lot of fun. So it served as good practice for all delegates of all experience levels, just to get that public speaking in and practicing in debate. And also it exposed these students to real-world intense politics, which was really our purpose, because we feel that sometimes students, especially my age, aren't really exposed to that. And so by showing what the real world is like, it helped gain some experience. And then also it demonstrated how to deal with crises in real time, because a lot of people who participate in Molly UN look to go on to real world things, like our president Lexi Mealy wants to be an international lawyer or something like that. So. And then that's really it. Thank you for listening to me. And then we welcome feedback, so thank you. Thank you.
Joy, real quick, could you just take a minute or two to explain to the board your idea that you have started and spearheaded that you're going to talk about at a future board meeting, but just to give them an idea of an idea that you had and something that you're working on?
This year, as part of my AP 20 Time project for AP Government, I took the initiative to start Molly UN in Mentor's middle schools. Ridge and Shore jumped in with me. So it's just like, regular Molly United Nations, but obviously on a middle school level. And I was going to present tonight, but I figured once we went to the conference in January, I would have more feedback and more information to give you. So I'm really excited about that.
Thank you.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, Madam President, members of the board, I'd like to invite Mr. Fetchick and Mr. Tuttle to recognize Mentor High School Counselor Mark Nemunitis for receiving the Close Cupido Educator of Humanity Award.
Thank you again. Mr. Nemunitis, could you please come on up? No. Congratulations goes out to Mentor High School's own Mr. Mark Nemunitis on earning the Close Caputo Educator of Humanity Award from Project Love. According to the Project Love website, the Close Caputo Educator of Humanity Award, named after educators Carol Close and Charlie Caputo, recognizes educators who have shown an intense commitment to educating and developing students of character who model the principles of kindness, caring, and mutual respect. Recipients are acknowledged as role models of these values and inspire those values in their students. Certainly describes Mr. Nemunitis. Mr. Nemunitis was presented the award on December 6th at Lander Haven in front of his family and some of his students. Congratulations.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Congratulations. You're doing such a good job.
Congratulations again. At this time, I get to recognize some of our staff through a preschool program that's currently housed at Ridge, and this is one of the, if not the highest award that they can receive from the state of Ohio. And so we're very proud of this group this evening. Madam President, members of the board, our integrated preschool has been awarded a 5-star Step Up to Quality rating by the Ohio Department of Education and the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. Step Up to Quality recognizes and promotes learning and developmental programs that meet quality program standards that exceed licensing, health, and safety regulations. The program standards are based on national research identifying standards which lead to improved outcomes for children. All early childhood education and preschool special education programs funded by the Ohio Department of Education are mandated to participate in Step Up to Quality and are required to achieve a rating of 3, 4, or 5 to maintain state funding. Mentor's Preschool, which is housed at Ridge Middle School, is home to 120 students ages 3 and 4. Congratulations to our preschool staff on receiving the 5-star Step Up to Quality rating. Congratulations. We have certificates, so we're going to call names and call you on up, and we're very proud and very pleased and happy for all of you. Congratulations. We're going to start with Supervisor Janice Gallagher. Teachers Lori Caruso, Katie Cleland, Alexandra Granieri, Brooke Allay, Michelle Ponchin. I'm reading them really fast, sorry.
Oh, Janice, congratulations.
Very proud of you.
Sorry.
Congratulations.
I have one more teacher, can I call her?
Wonderful, very proud of you.
Congratulations.
And Julie Valentic.
Very proud
I
of you.
forgot about that.
Congratulations.
Thanks for the reminder.
Such a big difference from
Therapists, Amy Belaley, Karen Hopman,
congratulations.
Karen Nelson,
Congratulations. Well done.
Very proud of you.
Congratulations.
Maureen Ray,
It looks so easy.
Paula Surson,
Very proud of you.
Congratulations.
she's not here, there's a couple that aren't here, that one's not coming either. Nope. Support staff Margaret Alessi, Victoria Clinton, Nancy
Very proud
Gatto,
of you.
Nancy Kurbis, Debbie Rogers, Nicole Rolick, and Deborah
Very
Pellip.
proud of you.
Congratulations, congratulations.
Very proud of you. Good for you, very proud of you.
Okay, tell them on the watch. Thank you so much.
Very proud of you. Very proud of you. Very proud of you.
If we could give one more round of applause to this group. At this time, we'd like to highlight our preschool program with a brief video.
What is that? Snow, and he blends in.
So our program provides hands-on experiences to promote learning in all developmental areas, so language, social, emotional, motor, as well as pre-academics. And we are all intervention specialists, so we have the knowledge and experience to individualize instruction for all of our students. So that's a special piece that we have here. We have 6 classrooms here at Ridge Middle School. There is also a program at the high school, and that's through the Career Tech program. So we're different in that we provide services for students with special needs. All districts need to provide services for children who qualify for special needs at the age of 3. We received a 5-star rating from Step Up to Quality. Step Up to Quality is a rating and improvement system that's administered by the Ohio Department of Education, and it recognizes and promotes early learning and development in early childhood programs throughout the state. The 5-star rating is the highest rating you can receive, and what they're looking at is our program's curriculum. They're looking at the staff and their qualifications. They look at our transition process, so we transition kids from our program to kindergarten, and they also look at our relationships out in the community to some of the daycares and programs out in our community. We were so proud. We did have a sigh of relief because it was a lot of work. It was really exciting because we sat down as a team numerous times over a period of time, and our first initial reaction was nervousness, because of course we wanted to prove we were capable of earning that 5 stars. But what it really did was we sat down and we talked about all the great things we do in our program, and it really got us excited because we knew we did good things, but when we sat down and talked about it and put it down on paper, we just really felt so proud of our program and of each other. It's an honor to receive the 5-star rating because it recognizes this program's dedication to providing high-quality, developmentally appropriate learning experiences for all of our students.
You're all part of a phenomenal program, and you have a lot of energy. Thank you, and congratulations again.
I would just like to add my experience. My grandson attended the program for 2 years, and he loved it. And I've spent some time in there, and I know that this is a wonderful, dedicated staff. They do a great job of working together. I think it's a unique program, and I'm really happy that we have it in the school district. I think they do a wonderful job. So if I could just say a wonderful thank you to all of you. Great job. Congratulations.
Absolutely. At this time, I'd like to invite Mrs. Bonas and Mr. Crow to come up to talk about our proposed curriculum revisions for elementary and high school courses.
Madam President, members of the board, Mr. Miller and Mr. Wilson, I am honored to have the opportunity to share with you proposed curriculum revisions that will provide the Mentor students with additional educational options. The high school family consumer science, business, English, and elementary tech media curriculum revision committees met over the past 6 months to review and improve educational options for our students. I am honored to present the recommended curriculum revisions for the 2017-18 school year. The High School Family Consumer Science Committee aligned their courses to the newly revised Ohio FCS standards. As a result, content standards have been reworked into strands, outcomes, and competencies to align with other CTE programs and courses. The committee is recommending retiring financial life skills and replacing it with a new course called Career and College Readiness. Financial literacy courses are being taught in social studies and the business department. Because the financial life skills course covered the same content, the decision was made to replace it with another course that provided additional options for our students and prepared students for careers in college. This course will provide students with preparation for life after Mentor High School and assist them with exploring a multitude of career pathways. Students will research careers, review post-secondary admission qualifications, develop interviewing skills, and create a plan for post-secondary success. Choices course objectives were also updated, and the committee is requesting the course name change to Teen Living to reflect the curriculum topics, which focus on preparing students for the challenges they face in school, work, and home life. Students will explore issues relevant to teens today, such as social interactions, relationships, and risky behaviors. They will learn strategies for stress management and conflict resolution, improving self-esteem, and building healthy relationships. The High School English Revision Committee is requesting to retire 11th grade honors and replace it with the AP Language and Composition course. This course aligns to an introductory college-level curriculum, which requires students to adhere to rigorous standards in the application of the reading and writing processes that will prepare them for college-level writing in any field. In addition, this course provides students with a fully realized AP pathway with AP Seminar offered in 10th grade, AP Language and Literature in 11th grade, and AP Literature in 12th grade. This succession will allow students who pursue AP courses in English to do so at all 3 grade levels from 10th through 12th grade, and will bring all possible English AP courses offered by the College Board to Mentor High School. Adding the course at the 11th grade level will provide our students with a rigorous, skills-based, College Board accredited 11th grade course that aligns both to their 10th and 12th grade experiences and college level expectations. The high school business department is excited to propose the addition of the Project Lead the Way AP Computer Science Principles course, which will expand student offerings for the computer science pathway. Advanced Placement Computer Science Principles offers an integrated approach to teaching the underlying principles of computation. The course will introduce students to the creative aspects of programming, pattern recognition, the internet, cybersecurity concerns, and the impact of computers in a modern world. Advanced Placement Computer Science Principles also give students the opportunities to use technologies to create computational artifacts for both self-expression and problem solving. The new Microsoft Office credentialing course will replace 2 semester courses, International Business and Computer Applications. This is a full-year course that will prepare students to take industry credential tests in Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Excel. The course will provide students an alternative graduation pathway by providing them the opportunity to earn 4 Microsoft industry credentials in addition to earning a passing score on Ohio's Work Keys assessment. Students who are not on track to earn 18 graduation points based on the end of course exams will be required to take this course. At this time, Jason Crow, the Director of Career Tech, would like to share some proposed changes to the high school CTE program.
Madam President, members of the board, Mr. Miller and Mr. Wilson, I'm excited to be here this evening to introduce a new Career Tech work program that we will be offering to students next school year. Currently, we do not offer any programs in the health science career field. Next school year, we will offer 2 programs in our consortium, the Lakeshore Compact, with Mentor having the Allied Health Program and Euclid City Schools having the Patient Access Specialist, both of which will be open to all students. Why do we need this program? I think that we're all aware of the health care jobs being in demand in this area, and also our students want to be involved in a health care program. This school year, we already have 83 applicants for the Allied Health Program. And last school year, we had 77 students apply for this Allied Health Program that we ran. Now, we didn't run it, but we sent students to Auburn because last year we didn't have one. So this year, or hopefully next year, we'll be able to do that here. So what is this program? The Allied Health Program will be a 2-year career tech workforce development program. Level 1 focuses on principle of allied health and patient-centered care. Level 2 focuses on medical terminology and nutrition and wellness. Students will be prepared for the following industry credentials: CPR, STNA training, which is a state-tested nursing assistant, and HHA, which is home health aide. The goal for students when they exit the program will be they'll have the ability to enter the workforce and or continue their education to pursue a career in healthcare. Who is this program for? The program will be open to all students in our Career Tech Consortium, which is made up of Euclid and Wycliffe City Schools, as well as Mentor, and students who would like to enter the workforce immediately, as well as those students who will go on to post-secondary will benefit from the Allied Health Program. Thank you, and I'm going to turn it back over to Mrs. Bonas, and I'll be able to answer any of your questions about the Allied Health Program after her presentation.
Our current K-5 Tech Media Related Arts course was developed over 10 years ago in order to provide technology instruction to students prior to the influx of devices and teacher technology training. The curriculum is now out of date because the students in our elementary classrooms use technology on a daily basis. The proposed new STEM course, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, incorporates hands-on, interdisciplinary, project-based learning curriculum. The Project Lead the Way curriculum consists of 3 pathways: computer science, biomedical science, and engineering. One computer science unit, known as coding, will be taught at each grade level, and the other grade levels will teach either an engineering or biomedical unit. This slide is the recommended curriculum for the K-5 STEM courses. Kindergarten students will discover the design process and design their own paintbrushes. They will also learn about animal adaptations and design a shoe made for desert exploration. First grade students will explore the relationship between structure and function in the human body and design a cast. Students will also build computational thinking skills by creating animations based on their own short stories. Second grade students explore science materials and devise a way to keep popsicles cold without a cooler, and also learn about the sequence and structure required in computer programs and work in teams to build tablet games. Third grade students will explore simple machines and use what they know to rescue a trapped zoo animal. They will also use coding skills to create a video game for a tablet. Fourth grade students explore how computers work and create a reaction time computer program to assess a baseline before a concussion occurs. They will also learn about stimuli and responses and then use what they know to create a video to teach children about concussions. Finally, the fifth grade students explore ways robots are used in today's world and design a mobile robot that can remove hazardous materials from a disaster site. They are then challenged to explore mechanical design and computer programming and design an automated guided vehicle to deliver supplies to a hospital. In addition to the 2 Project Lead the Way units, students at each grade level receive digital citizenship instruction. The unit will focus on internet safety and maintaining a positive digital footprint. With the addition of the K-5 STEM computer science units and the Project Lead the Way AP Computer Science Principles course at the high school, we will now have a K-12 computer science pathway developed for our students. Currently, only 25% of U.S. high schools offer computer science, so we are pleased to recommend this innovative curriculum for our elementary students. In conclusion, the elementary and high school curriculum revision committees believe these proposed changes will benefit our students by offering curriculum that prepares them for the future. At this time, Mr. Crow and I would be happy to address any questions regarding the proposed curriculum revisions.
I just had a couple of questions. Will the middle school curriculum be altered to fit, or is the K-5 curriculum designed to fit what we have now?
So that's a great question. Right now, we have Project Lead the Way curriculum already in our middle schools. So we have a computer science in the middle schools right now with Project Lead the Way. So it should flow all the way from K to K-12.
Excellent. And the other question I had was for Mr. Crow. The Lake Health Wellness Center, we're anticipating, of course, unveiling being sometime in the next school year after this one. And the 3 licensures, the credentialing that you mentioned, does that define the program, or those are outcomes that students might participate in, but you'll have maybe a broader number of possible program plans? I'm not expressing this well, but
Let me try to answer it,
okay.
and maybe I will. So the goal, our goal right now is that any student that comes into that program will get all 3 certifications. Having never ran the program before, I can't say with certainty that's going to happen, but that's our goal, and we would look to do that, senior year. The SDNA and the home health aide would be senior year, because we have to go out for those. The STNA requires 30 hours of clinical work, so our students would have to be doing that. Where CPR, we'll most likely be able to do that in-house. So they're going to get that. There's also going to be some articulated college credit tied to it for students. They can have free of charge. That's to be worked out with. We partner with Lakeland Community College on most of that. We'll kind of, I guess, this spring that we'll iron out all those details with Lakeland. I guess my goal for the students is when they leave, they have the college credit, they have the experience, the academic experience, so they're better prepared for college. And then they have the real world experience, so they can go to the workforce, be that right after high school or after college, either 2 years, 4 years, or kind of whatever their path may lead.
And how many students you said you had 85, I think you said.
That's a good question.
Had applied.
We're going to take 16. Reason being, you can only have 8 students at a time at a clinical site, so we're looking for groups of 8. I guess, as the program grows, maybe in future years, maybe we'll look to bump it up to 24. But for the immediate future, we'd like to just cap it at 16, just to make sure it's a very successful, launch.
And their classroom time will be on the high school campus or to be determined?
That's to be determined. Next school year, Auburn, Career Center has been very, generous, to the Mentor School District, as well as the whole Lakeshore Compact in terms of opening their programs. Any openings they have, our kids get to apply for. We don't run those programs here. And in talking to, to their administration, they're going to open. The plan is that we're going to house it there next year and then bring it back here the following year. So the following year being 18-19.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
I have a question. Who did you say, Barb, that would be required to take that Microsoft credentialing class? You said it was required by?
Our at-risk students will be asked to take that class. So because of the graduation requirements.
So it'll be a senior class or a junior, senior class?
It will be a junior, senior class, yes.
Nice
Anybody
job
else?
to you and your committee. They all look like very good complementary courses. Thank you.
Thank you both. Madam President, members of the board, I'm recommending approval then of agenda item C1 related to, I'm sorry, let me back up, I missed one. I recommend approval of agenda item 5B5, proposed curriculum revisions for our elementary and high school courses after our presentation.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Wilson, please call the roll.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle?
Yes.
Mrs. Briner?
Yes.
Ms. Jisling?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Thank you. Madam President, members of the board, I'm now recommending approval of agenda item C1 related to certified staff and C2 through C5, all related to human resource matters.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Wilson?
Ms. Jisling?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mrs. Briner?
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Thank you. Madam President, members of the board, I'm recommending approval of agenda item 5D related to administrative employees.
So moved. Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle?
Yes.
Mrs. Briner?
Yes.
Ms. Jisling?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
That concludes my part of the agenda. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wilson, are you ready for your
Yes.
part of the agenda?
Ohio Revised Code requires the board to reorganize at the first of every calendar year, and the annual term of the president ends on December 31st, and it's our custom to, at the December meeting, designate a president pro tem that will preside over the organizational meeting until a president is elected for 2017. So we need a volunteer.
I nominate Virginia Jeschling.
Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Jisling?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mrs. Briner?
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
And next up is, again, to designate, the board needs to reorganize between January 1st and January 15th of each year. We also are required every January to conduct a tax budget hearing and then adopt the tax budget and file it with the Lake County Budget Commission no later than January 20th. And then also at that meeting set the regular meeting schedules for the entire year. We're recommending the board meet on January 10th for 3 separate meetings: the organizational meeting, the tax budget hearing, and then the regular January meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mrs. Briner?
Yes.
Ms. Jisling?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
And I believe we have Nancy here this evening. There we go. The Mentor Public Library is organized statutorily as a public school district library, and as such, they serve the same geographic area as the school district. The Board of Education is required to do several things. One is to appoint trustees to the library board, to annually ratify and file their annual appropriations, agree and process any requests for tax levies, in addition to providing general oversight. Library trustees serve 7-year terms. There's one term that expires each year for the 7 members. Nancy was first appointed in December of 2009 to an unexpired term, and her term that has expired, she expressed an interest in continuing on the library board, and it is our recommendation, as we had previously communicated, to reappoint Nancy for a new 7-year term that would begin January 1st of 2017. She has lived in Mentor for more than 20 years. Her professional experiences include serving as a residential manager and public relations, volunteer service director for Lake County Board of Mental Retardation, Developmental Disabilities. I think the title's been updated since then. Clerk of Courts and Mental Health Court Director for the Mentor Municipal Court, and serving as a private mediator for Another Way Mediation. She's a graduate of Leadership Lake County, an active member in the Women's Leadership Initiative, and serves on the Lake County Homeland Security Committee. So we're very pleased that she is willing to serve and would request the Board of Education formally reappoint her.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mrs. Briner?
Yes.
Ms. Jisling?
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
I don't know if you want to make any comments, not required to, but
No, I really appreciate your trust in me. I love serving. I'm a lifelong library user, so it's an honor to serve as a trustee. And I really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just have to say
Service.
how much I appreciate the wonderful job the library does for our community. I think if you drive past the parking lot or into the parking lot anytime that the library is open, there's always lots of people there, and it's very exciting. And the new renovation is going to update it some more, and the staff does a very, very nice job, and congratulations to your new director.
I think it's still alive more than people think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
Vital to the city.
And it's great staff. Great staff. They're all energetic, wonderful ATS, and they just keep on going.
Absolutely. It's a gem for the city. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You done?
okay. Yes.
Mr. Tuttle, is there a legislative report?
Yes, I did distribute that early enough that everyone received that before the weekend. Interesting enough, it's the lame duck session going on right after the election. The last week of November brought lots of activity as the 131st General Assembly entered its final weeks. I'm not going to go through all these bills that they listened to and spoke about, but interesting enough that the Senate Education Committee heard once again in the issue of the Senate Bill 346 would require schools to open for instruction after Labor Day. So that subject before Labor Day and after Labor Day is still being debated. Will it change? We'll have to wait and see. I don't know that it was voted on prior to the ending.
Don't know that.
So whatever they don't act on and vote on, they all have to be resubmitted the next session. There's nothing carried forward unless the next session's put in place, the 132nd. They have to propose them once again. So perhaps it's dead once again, but That's all I wanted to add about is that Labor Day debate.
If I, you want to go ahead? or
You're
you
probably gonna hit the same one I'm gonna hit, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to
Go
do the
ahead.
same one. As Mr. Tuttle indicated during the lame duck session, you see a lot of bills introduced that are a passion or relevant to individual legislators. Representative Brenner introduced House Bill 628 that represents many of his passions and views about education in the state of Ohio, and I'll just highlight very briefly the gist of the bill, and I think it has significant implications to K-12 education throughout the state. Interestingly, the first thing I always look at is, are there co-sponsors, and if so, how many? In this particular case, there were no co-sponsors, but it would replace locally levied school district property taxes with a statewide property tax and require recipients of previous tax exemptions to reimburse the state for lost revenues, and direct the state treasurer's office to issue debt to refund all the debt individual school districts have, eliminates the School Facilities Commission, eliminates the Ed Choice Scholarship Program, the John Peterson's Special Needs Scholarship Program, eliminates interdistrict open enrollment, requires ESCs to transport students on a countywide basis, and permits school districts a simplified way to proceed with merging. So the gist of this bill, and one that we've heard about before, would in essence take away local authority of a Board of Education to raise revenues so a community could support the type of district that reflects their beliefs and values, and replace it with one centralized state system with all monies flowing to the state of Ohio, and they in turn would decide how monies would be distributed to school districts. As we know, historically, our district's been viewed as a wealthy suburban district with a rich commercial tax base, as well as the Great Lakes Mall. And it's always been deemed that we don't need much state subsidies because we can fend for ourselves. And even though under this proposal we would all lose local revenues, it's my belief, and I think the Alliance for High Quality Education and some other organizations that Matt and I belong to, our belief there would be a bias against districts like ours. It would be a leveling down rather than a leveling up of education throughout the state of Ohio. Sadly, this mirrors efforts in some other states to have a statewide school system rather than local school systems. So the good news is it was introduced in the lame duck session, as Mr. Tuttle said. If it's not acted on, and I believe they met until 3 a.m. on Monday night, and they're scheduled to adjourn sometime this week. So if it doesn't suddenly pop up for hearings, would have to be reintroduced. But I do think it's a reflection of a certain segment of our legislature that wants to seize control of all of our school districts.
I would just add that Representative Brenner is a leader with his group, but he's also one of the co-leaders of the Education Committee. So this is not somebody just kind of out there. He's in a leadership role, and I think that's a little bit concerning.
Yes.
I'd also mention too, and we just got this late today. I mean, this just happened probably hours ago when we got word about House Bill 628. So I'd encourage those of you in education to take a look at that one. And then there was also discussion today about the graduation points again, and so that's ongoing. And there was some emails coming out from the state superintendent to local superintendents about some of the proposed changes. So we have that. I forwarded on to curriculum department, so we're taking a look at that now. They had a spreadsheet with every school district in the state of Ohio and what percentage of their kids would graduate if they kept with 18 points, and then they had it down to 18, 17, 16, down to 14, just to share that for the group.
Are they
Nothing
looking,
final.
Are they looking at all at the number of points in the specific areas?
Yes, well, yes.
You know what I mean, the math and English
Correct.
areas?
Yeah,
Okay.
they are. So I forward that to you as well.
Okay.
So you had it. So I just wanted to follow up on your legislative
Yeah.
point about that.
House Bill 628 is,
Juicy.
we'll keep an eye on that
Well,
for
that's-
sure.
I'm sure there's stuff that'll come out tonight or tomorrow about it.
Okay. Anybody have anything else? No? Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
The financial reports and recommendations, please.
Thank you. It's recommended the financial statements for the month of, November 2016 be accepted and placed on file for audit.
So moved.
Second.
I would just indicate that we had a timing issue with the receipt of the second half real estate homestead and rollback payments. Normally came in October, came in November. With that timing correction, our performance year-to-date is tracking very favorably, both on revenues and expenses.
Excellent, thank you. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Briner?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Jisling?
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
It's recommended the Board of Education ratify the investment transactions presented in Exhibit 7-B.
So moved.
Second?
Please call the roll.
Mrs. Briner?
Yes.
Ms. Jisling?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
It's recommended the Board of Education approve the interfund transfers listed in Exhibit 7-C.
So moved.
Second.
And please call the roll.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mrs. Briner?
Yes.
Ms. Jisling?
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
It's recommended the Board of Education approve the appropriation modifications listed in Exhibit 7-D.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Ms. Jisling?
Yes.
Mrs. Briner?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
It's recommended the Board of Education approve the supplemental appropriations listed in Exhibit 7-E.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Briner?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Jisling?
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
It's recommended the Board of Education approve the student activity budgets and purpose statements listed in Exhibit 7-F.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mrs. Briner?
Yes.
Ms. Jisling?
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
And that completes my items this evening.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have any new business?
I'd just like to quick note to let the board know that I got a call last Friday from our state superintendent, Paolo Demaria, and he will be visiting Mentor in our straight A programs on Thursday, January 5th at 2:30, and invite you to be here when he comes. So it's our new state superintendent. He'll be bringing his team as well. So we'll be at Paradigm and we'll be at the high school.
Thank you.
Very exciting.
Anything else? Okay. The second hearing of the public deals with any issues, not just on the agenda. All right, thank you. At this time, we're going to move to executive session, so you can wait for us to come back and adjourn, or I don't know when we'll be back. You may go. Should not be long, all right?
We don't
there will
anticipate
be-
any additional business other than
Yes, there'll
adjourning
be
the
no
meeting.
action except for the adjournment, all right?
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mrs. Briner?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Jisling?
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes. Everyone have a happy holiday. Happy holidays.
So we were sort of participants.